Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of TerraTech. We are in the R&D test chamber and right now I'm thinking, hey, we got to turn our negatives into positives here. I have spent an hour searching around the world looking for new items, found absolutely nothing at all. For some reason the game was just spawning really small techs, I don't know why. And on my journey back in the tech that we had that was kind of similar to the layout of this, there was one little tech, it was literally the last one before my base, and I'd run out of shields. I was on my way back to recharge, and I sort of went a little bit close to it. I was trying to be cheeky and shoot it, even though I know I shouldn't. And then it got behind me, and it took a few shots at me. I strafed off to the side, managed to avoid some more damage, and then there was like a chain reaction of explosions, one after the other, and the entire thing got destroyed. I can't believe it. And so now I'm here in the test world thinking, right, what we're going to do this time is actually rebuild it in the test world, then buy it in game. So we've unlocked all of the blocks that we're using here, and then we can save the design and simply buy it from the shop, which is actually really convenient. And it's the first time that I'm doing this, and I've got to say, it's really easy to work with, because all you've got to do is just drag over the blocks that you need like this. You don't need to go through that interface. You can see all of the options that you've got right in front of you. And I think it saves a lot of time. Plus, you've got the freedom to drive around and not worry about being invaded and stuff like that. And it's really cool. So I thought what we'd do, as I said, turning the negative into a positive, let's go through the redesign process together. So what I want to do is make this thing 4 wide. Our previous one was just 3 wide. We had a few extra weapons coming off the side at the front, so this thing will end up being 6 wide as opposed to 5. We've got the hover plates down below. I don't know if they really do anything, so this time I decided to space them out bit by bit. And then we've got these 2 big batteries in the middle, and I think what I might do is actually go for 3 in total, probably put another block across here, although technically I don't need to actually put that there. But I might just do it like that, who knows. So we've got to fit some shields and healing bubbles in here, of course. And the other thing that I want to do is to put in some of these turning things, because I modified the design, the one that just got destroyed, and I really wanted to show you what I'd done. I also discovered something when playing as well, so I'll show you that now. Obviously I can't show you the design because it got destroyed, which is really unfortunate. So we're going to rotate this one to face the correct direction. Now you see it points down and across. I think the way you're supposed to use this is actually to have it like that, so it points backwards and across. But anyway, we've been using it the other way, and I'll show you it in action here. So they both point to that side, right? Now notice that when we turn, that's odd, they're both they're both firing. That's not what happened a moment ago. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I need a couple more on the other side. So it's not happening now, but on the design that we had before, I had them set up like this. So most of them, the red dot was facing backwards, and 2 at the front had the red dot facing forward. And after a while, I realized and noticed that the little beam of energy or whatever it is coming out the side there was only happening on the ones that were facing backwards, and it was on the opposite side, this one over here would be firing as well. So it was kind of doing the opposite thing when they were facing the wrong way, but now it seems to be just fine. So I think we can ignore that and knock that on the head, because it seems to be okay. If I see it again, I'll of course bring it up. So the next thing that I want to do is put our arsenal of weapons at the front here, and we want those to, you know, be in a line facing forward, similar set of weapons to before, and also they're going to cover up the battery here. Okay, it may look a little bit messy, but it is actually really well designed at the moment. So we've got some awesome firepower at the front here. I really like the combination of these two together. You know, these ones do actually aim at the enemy a little more so than the coil lasers. So we get a good balance of both, and we are going to put another row of these on top and maybe another row behind that. So we've got to balance a lot of this weight with maneuverability as well. So I do want to show you that I've squeezed in 2 fuel tanks down there. So we've moved the battery back by 1, and we're going to have to continue squeezing everything in. So with all of these batteries and fuel tanks, we have the shields kind of overlapping, and they cover all of the front here, just about covering the wheels there. So the next row of that will probably go right here, or actually, I'm not sure, maybe back here. I do want it to cover everything really well, but I also want to get this design having little gaps like this, so we can put these things on the side, you know, every couple of blocks as we go back. There'll be lots of them to help with turning. And look, it's doing it. What I was talking about earlier, look, I go to the left, it's that one and that one. When I go to the right, it's that one and that one. So how has that happened? What if I go and move them around like this? It's like they perhaps configure themselves for a particular direction. No. And what's really weird is they're both facing backwards and they're doing something different. And I'm not sure quite what's going on there. Is it picking like a center and saying if this one pushes that way, and I'm really not sure what I'm trying to describe there. So check this out. An immense amount of firepower there on the front. And it has got me thinking, sometimes some vehicles get round the side of you. I think we want a few weapons poking out the side and the back as well. But that is our, firepower right there to line up and aim at an enemy. That's going to be really good. So now I'm thinking about a couple of things. How can I squeeze in some fuel tanks in here and fit as many as possible into there? We also want to make sure they're all fully protected and surrounded by blocks. So what I think I'm going to do is try and use up every single little bit of space that there is available, and we will do that by putting in a fuel tank in that space, which comes up to this height, then another one over here, and then we'll put 2 blocks in the middle, like that, and then we can cover it up on top as well. And then we're going to put armor plating on top of here as well. So with this block at the back here, we can then cover up all of the space, which I'll do, after I put in the tanks. So that's going to fill up everything right there. We're going to try and do the same thing coming all the way back. But anyway, remember the whole thing with the the things firing at either side. Now the two in the middle have stopped working after I've added in extra blocks, so I've got a feeling the game's trying to calculate something here. But imagine there's like a central point right here, and we're trying to rotate from that. Then this one is pushing us inwards this way, and that one is pushing us inwards that way, and thus we are turning to the left. So I think that that's actually proper behaviour, but now for some reason these ones right here don't work, so hopefully they'll come back on as we do more and more of this. Okay, we are really filling this thing up. We've got another battery. We've got 3 extra tanks on either side. I mean, I'm going all out with this thing. I know it's crazy, but that's kind of what I want to do here. So you can see we've even got the armor plating. Can't remember if I mentioned it, but I did unlock this size right here. Let's get all of that nicely aligned up as well. Just don't want to rotate it too many times. There's also just a little gap right here. I'm wondering what I can squeeze into that. I have been thinking about other things like the radar. If there is something we can put there, we can have it hang down from above. So that could be like a battery or something, possibly. Just using up every little space possible. This thing really is going to just be a monster. But we've also got to fit on some rockets as well so that it can move fast, because at the moment its movement speed has drastically decreased at this point, which isn't great. But there you go. Well, this was a good little discovery. I noticed that this bit was exposed, and I had that plating right there lying around. So what we're going to do is put some coil lasers on the back. You can see we've got 8 of these right here. That makes this thing move, and you should really be facing the other direction. Should also be another one. There it is. Lying around somewhere here. There we go. So that's our firepower for the back. I am also considering a couple of pound cannons just resting on the top. We've also got 2 pound cannons off to the side. Hey, we could put the 8 one on there. These things are heavy, by the way. You can feel them slow down the vehicles when you do them on a smaller scale. So we've got 2 of those poking out the side here, and what I kind of envisioned was these plating bits right here sort of overhanging the pound cannon, which would have been really cool. And also this means, because it's come down a little bit, that we can see the back of the battery. Now I think the way the game works is that this entire block space counts as armor plating. Don't know, but I'm going to speculate that's how it works. But I like that means we can see the amount of this that we have left, and I would like it if we could also see the amount of fuel, but that's kind of hidden under there. I'm now thinking if this block right here was a fuel one, and then we could see the top of that meter as well, like on either side, and that would look really fantastic. So that would be a great little interface for the back here. As you can see, turning to the side is really poor, even though we've gone for like a big setup with all of those boosters, and I might have to add a couple of more. But when it comes to speed, we've got it with those boosters, that's for sure. We do slow down after we've used them a fair bit. And what are you trying to notify me about? Battery low, possibly? The booster lasts for a while as well. I was considering maybe taking a couple of these off and hoping that they last longer that way. I'm not sure if that's quite how it works. We could probably do with a couple more of those in there. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the final design. But yeah, I'm going to continue looking at it and play around with it a little bit more. Okay, this is the final design, and I'll tell you the flaw of this thing right now. It is just too heavy. It probably is a little bit over the top for a design of this scale. And you can feel that when you start to turn, because you use up so much boost trying to turn that these fuel tanks go down. Except for some reason, okay, now they're being used. They weren't being used before. So I managed to sneak an extra one on at the front on either side here. I've also moved the 3 wheels forward and just had the one at the back. That's because this was happening right here at the front, and now it's just happening at the back because I was kind of thinking that maybe the front had too much weight on it. By the way, the radars are snuck in like there. There's one on either side, just so it's symmetrical. And that's it, I think. That's probably going to be the final design right there. And it's going to be pretty badass, I think. So here it is, the Destroyer 2. Now I made an original Destroyer, then I made a Destroyer 2. And when I made this one, I was interested to see if it would overwrite it. It doesn't. And I included the block, that one right there, which I don't actually have access to yet. So I've now replaced that for 2 of these smaller panels, and this thing cost 83,000. So I got my work cut out for me. We need another 30,000. I'm going to get obviously a lot more than that. So we have money in reserve after. So good thing we still got the harvester. I can't lose this thing now. If this gets destroyed, then it's going to be a major setback. Hopefully this time we'll be able to avoid some trouble. I do believe I may have made some new form of tech that just strolls across the ground on his back. We have no radar, and oh my god, there's another one nearby. This is really bad. This is happening all the time at the moment. I don't know what it is. It's very difficult to get rid of these blocks. I say I don't know what it is. It's this right here. They keep getting caught underneath, and it just makes it fly all over the place. It's horrible. This is just really bad. Let's drag that one out of there. Oh my god, it's happening again. I can't even move anywhere and things just get stuck underneath. I'm thinking that this shows you that this kind of setup with the fuel tanks underneath isn't too great, right? They seem to get caught in there all the time. I think when you use these pads that we've got on top to pick up items, you want to have them as both the bottom block and the top block, if that makes sense. And I've got to be very careful to make sure I drag out. There we go, it lagged a little bit. The actual material and not part of the tech itself. Oh my god, there's so many caught on the side here as well. No wonder it's freaking out all the time. It's happening again, we're flying. And the beam has stabilized, which might be helpful. This is so bad, because you get a few stuck under so easily, and then if they flip it over, all of this goes in the air, and you're back, oh god, you're back to square one. So now there's something on this side, and we're probably not going to be able to even see it, are we? Oh, God. This just might be disastrous. I have no firepower here ready at all, really, do I? Let's hope what invades is going to be a tiny, easy-to-defeat thing. I think this is game over for us. Uh-oh. Oh, that thing has no shields, though. Neither do we now, either. And I'm sitting... I had shields! They should have been fully charged. What happened? This is bad. This is very bad. I want to do enough damage to it to stop it hurting my base. And I think I might... Oh no, I think we're out of weapons. Let's blow up. Blow up next to it. Look, it's got coil lasers on the front. Okay. We have nothing to defend ourselves with all of a sudden. Wait a minute. That did the trick. We sacrificed ourselves and came out very lucky there. I literally have no other tech to defend the base with. Now that I think about it, what would have been smart to have done would have been to go in here and buy a tech. Now obviously we don't have many options in here because I don't usually save my techs. Now I see a very good reason to do so, like this little thing. We could have brought that and sent that into fight. Yes, although it wouldn't have had a shield and battery power, you know, ready and charged up. So that would have been a bit of a disappointment. And considering that we're going to have to make another run to get some more materials here to sell and make money, I think it would be... Oh, wrong thing. It would be smart to actually buy that one. Come here, Asuma 1. I should have named these, given them proper names. Where are you? Is it going to drop in? Sometimes you have to give this thing a lot of space. There you go. So we brought ourselves another tech. This is one of our ones from the previous LP, isn't it? I'll tell you what, we could have done with some better wheels on this thing. It's a good thing I saved a bunch up. Let's grab those. Okay, picking up the scraps, we're able to make this thing a little bit stronger. And it's pretty nippy on the turn as well. So I'm happy with that for defending our base for now. You can also see it's got a gun pointing backwards here. And these ones will aim to the side if something comes along there. But it's got some pretty good firepower going forward, which is alright. And now we can get back to the job at hand. Thing is, like, we redesign our harvesters and and text quite often in this series, and I'm thinking I want to redesign this one again, but I think it's a learning process at least, you know. Each time you fail, you can get back up and try again and do something different, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do with this thing right here. So I've designed another tech, and it's going to be cheaper to assemble than this one right here. However, we're trying to save money at the moment, so what we're actually going to do is completely dismantle this one, and as well as that I've brought over some bits that were lying around the base that can get sold. They automatically get delivered, they do. They also do damage to those things, that's kind of hilarious. Yeah, I'm just going to dismantle this bit by bit and sell it all, because then we're going to buy the tech as a whole, which we can actually just do straight away, and then I'll sell it after. So let me show you this thing. Assume alive, where is it? X harvest. Okay, it doesn't put it at the end, it puts them in some other sort of order. So let's purchase that, which is 12,000, which might sound like a lot, but we're going to sell all of this here as well. And where is it? How long will it take to arrive? Will it arrive at all? It's taking my money, it's not giving it back, or is it now giving it back? I'm not sure. That's kind of worrying. Where is it? Okay, eventually it turns up. This is it over here, and believe me, this is no joke. Here is the principle that is important for this thing. Items get caught underneath, so let's not have things for it to get caught on. You can see that the items will be able to flow straight through here, and there's these little gaps in between as well. So if an item gets caught underneath, it should be able to pop up through and then on top. So holding this thing together, we've actually got batteries with some plating. We might put a little bit more on the bottom as well, actually, for those. And this thing isn't really about defending itself at all. However, I did think I would like a couple of weapons on here, so we can take these two things, one from that side, one from this side over here. We're going to attach that to it, but otherwise we're basically going to sell the whole of this off. And this, I think, has pretty much a similar level of things as that one does, so we'll make our money back is the idea. There we go, look, we can sell that. I think they're worth 1,500. Well, they actually get sold though, because they're kind of caught on the outside here. That's interesting. Imagine that if it couldn't get sold because of that. Also, our cab at the back should probably be nested somewhere underneath. But there we go. This thing is nippy. It can get around the terrain. I know it is quite long, but when it goes up and down hills, the thing is it's high off the ground, so it should be good. And then when it comes to collecting items, we shouldn't have too many problems. Although we don't have a drill in the middle, because if we were to put one in the middle, then we would be blocking this up, and straight away something has got caught underneath. Ridiculous. That's exactly what we're trying to avoid. Well, I'm going to give this thing a whirl, see how long it will last for, how much stuff we can pick up. Another problem I'm anticipating is that the one at the front is going to fill up first, and then I guess we're probably going to have to drive over things to pick them up, and then they're going to be underneath us by the time these things like look at the items and go, hey, we're going to drag you over here. Also, this thing needs a radar. That's another thing I need to drag onto it. I was not paying attention and this thing came out of nowhere and blew me up. But now we have Suma to the rescue. That's actually the name of this tech. And how good is this thing? Because it's slow. It's not the improved one that I made a moment ago. Don't attack that tech. It's going to blow up and it's worth so much money. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's going to be a chain reaction here thanks to this thing. Or maybe not actually. Oh, I think we might have just about survived that. Okay, so we're going to sell all of those blocks right there. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to buy the one that just got destroyed over there. And I've got to act quick here because there's a lot of blocks on the ground, but they're actually worth a lot of money while we can sell them. So this might seem slightly disastrous, but actually I think we're going to be alright here. We just need the other tech to come in here and then sell all of this stuff off. And I'll sell this one off as well, I will. But first of all we need to pick everything up. And I'm worried about that stuff despawning. Let's start moving it over here already. In fact, if we can use that tractor pad, we can attach it to that thing. Yep, that's right. Come back over here. And then this thing will pick up all of those blocks. Or no, we actually have to manually put the blocks onto this, like so. And then we can drive up to this thing. And then it will take them and sell them. Yep, okay. So what do we need? 83,000? Well, the sun is setting. We've got to process all of these materials, and I'm pretty sure... look at what happens when we go through there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to have enough money to buy our tech, which we'll do in the next episode, and then we'll be able to go around and scavenge for materials once again, hopefully to unlock the item filters. That's what I'm after at the moment. Anyway, that's going to be it from me this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It's always appreciated, and I will catch you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.